YouTube, so welcome to my first voiceover video, and welcome back to my literal 2 subscribers that probably aren't even watching this video. And welcome to any newcomers. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the speed paint. I hope you enjoy just me talking if you're not interested in watching the speed paint, or both, or whatever your gig is. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today I wanted to talk about how I found, how I improved my own art, and how you can too. You can use my steps. Of course, everyone has different paths in life. I ended up going to semi-realistic art and also cartoony art, but I also draw people. I don't draw animals. I do not know how to draw animals well. Please don't ask me how to draw animals. I know I should learn how to. It's good to draw new things, but personally right now I'm just working on improving my own personal hobby art, which is people. Lots of girls actually, but yeah, so something that's very easy, very simple to start off with when you're first drawing art is references. References are key to improving your art 100%, whether that be cartoony art, whether that be realism, because in the end, when you're cartooning, you're taking realistic proportions and you're cartooning them 100%. You can do what you want, and working with a realistic base can actually really help you cartoon well. It can help you get your proportions right with your cartoons, and it can also help you draw more interesting poses. You can exaggerate the poses you're seeing. You can also get more ideas for hair and eye, whatever, you know, all that fun stuff. You can, of course, cartoony references, also really good to find, but that would be more inspiration. So something I would very well suggest is look at a bunch of different artists, find some you like. Don't indulge yourself too much. Sometimes looking at too much of other artists' work will end up leading you to compare yourself to them. I still do that to this day. Not comparing yourself to other artists is one of the hardest things to not do, but it can also really hinder your progression, because you can get a really bad, I mean, I wouldn't call it like depression, you know, it's not like clinical depression at all, but it'll land you into a little bit of a sad hole, where you're just kind of stuck and you're like, oh, everyone's better than me, why try? You don't want to end up in that. That's one way to hinder your improvement. So really try to look at other artists' work, find inspiration from them, you know, find different things you like about them. So like, see if you like the way they draw their hair, or the way they draw their bodies, or their eyes, or their lips. And once you kind of gain a bunch of little artists' techniques and you can see how they draw stuff, it'll really help you find how you really want to draw in your own art. I guess it doesn't really help improve that much, but it does help you find yourself as an artist, which I think can really help improve your work in the end. But references really help, especially with realism. Like, if you're trying to draw anything realistic, go look at a reference. I didn't use a reference for this piece on the hands, and I really regretted it after, because it looked a bit wonky. And I know, don't point out things in your art that are wonky to you. You're trying to sell your art, but I'm gonna say it for this video, my hands look wonky. And yeah, so references are key. Really helps you improve your art rapidly. Something I also found that helps is proportions, learning proportions, and you can learn that skeletally. I use shapes. Shapes for me work really well. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat meowing in the background. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I fed her, I promise. She's not starved. She's just a little bit of an attention hog in her old age. But yeah, but references. And then also the shapes. Use your shapes. Use those to your best ability. Maybe one day I'll be able to draw with other shapes. When I see artists I could draw without any like little outlines for their bodies, I'm amazed. But you need to learn the basics first, and the basics usually are shapes. And you don't even have to use the circles everyone uses, or the rectangles or whatever. Those actually, I find personally, don't help me that much, except for like heads and eyes and stuff. Like ovals and like stuff are really good for heads and eyes. Like you're really good for a base guideline. But for the body, actually, I find using almost a bean shape, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. Works really well. And then using a weird like half triangle slightly curved at the sides, for the like butt, thighs, and then like, you know, the crotch area, trying to find like the distance between the the chest and where your legs begin. It can really help with that. It can also help you figure out how to, you know, mold legs to the side or whatever. I don't draw full bodies that much. I promise I can draw them. It's just I'm way more interested in drawing portraits than full bodies, but yeah. That can definitely really help improve your art rapidly. Just guidelines, just using those guidelines. Something I also found that really helped improve my art is just drawing in every art style you can. Just go for it. Go for every art style. You draw a really cartoony person and the next day draw a realistic person. Don't let anyone hold you back from drawing what you want. Also, please, one really important thing, if you're drawing faces specifically, don't be the person who just draws one eye in your notebook over and over and over again. That eye looks gorgeous, I promise you. You're drawing an amazing eye. It can be hyper-realistic, cartoony, whatever. You're drawing a good eye. The issue with doing that is that you actually don't really learn how to proportion your eyes to your face or whatever other body part you're drawing over and over again. Using that for hands can be really good, I will say, and it is good to do it on their own, to practice, you know, realism, or just practice any style for anything. But you need to also focus on drawing those little tiny aspects of the faces and the bodies with each other. You gotta draw them all together, or else you won't know how to proportion them with everything else, like how to proportion head shapes together, and also how to proportion, you know, like the body in comparison to the eyes, in comparison to the lips. Like, I used to draw my lips really tiny, because I used to draw anime, and then I went to drawing semi-realistic lips with my anime people, and they looked weird, because they were really realistic lips, but really tiny. And it just didn't work for my style. It might work for yours, but it didn't work for mine. And so, yeah. And then something else that actually helped me improve vastly was, I mean, maybe my composition still isn't the best, but it definitely did help me stop just doing white backgrounds, or using at least the white space to my advantage, you know. Taking up most of the page is by planning out your pieces beforehand. So this is something I learned in grade 11 with my art teacher, but drawing little tiny thumbnails or little tiny practice pieces can really help. Maybe you don't see it too much in this drawing. I didn't draw thumbnails for this one. I did have a vague idea in my head, so it did help for that. But I will say that, like, doing loose sketches like I did for the very beginning of this piece, with barely any detail, just seeing, you know, the very rough shapes. It should be fluid, it should be getting the basic idea of the picture, it shouldn't be doing detail yet. That's the best way to kind of think of a drawing first, you know? Think of the very basic elements, and that will help you improve your composition, probably past me, honestly, but doing your composition first is very good. Also, one last little quick thing that really helped improve my own artwork, and maybe your artwork doesn't need shading, but learning how to shade for certain types of drawing is really key. Or at least learning how to color, learning how to put colors together can really improve an artwork vastly. You can have an amazing outline, you can have a great looking person, but if you don't know how to color them, your artwork might end up looking a bit weird, and that's okay. It's okay to experiment with colors, 100% go and experiment your little butt off. If you want to make someone's skin white, make their hair bright pink, or if you want to make their skin like bright green, try it. Go for it. But you're gonna have to find a way that you harmonize your whole art piece with how you color. And unless you're doing black and white, I guess, or charcoal, or grayscale works, but coloring is really key for making an artwork with color interesting and making it functional and bringing contrast, and also bringing attention to certain areas of the piece that you want to really highlight. If you want to make the person in the front blurry and the background really pop, you got to figure out what colors do that best, you know, how to contrast it enough so that your eye goes to the background and then to the person, or to the person and then the background, or how to make it look harmonized and how to piece it together well. Also learning different mediums, going along with that. Different mediums are really good. I know I really only paint digitally. Maybe it's a bit hypocritical, but I was in my art class from grade 9 all the way until grade 12. And we worked with a ton of different materials between that time. Maybe all of them I didn't excel at. I really wasn't good at sculpture. I tried my best. I kept trying to do sculptures of people. Never turned out well. But no, at least I tried. I tried making a few mugs. I've tried paper mache. I've done painting and pencil crayon. I used to only draw in pencil crayon, actually. That was a weird time. That really hurt my hand. And then pastels, charcoal, canvas, watercolor. Try it all. Do all of it. Try every single art thing, because you never know. You might find a medium you really love, and then your artwork might improve with that medium, and also then you'll be more skilled in more mediums. And isn't that cool? So yeah, one final thing I actually forgot to mention in the first recording I did. One of the most important parts, honestly, I think, of improving your art is to draw every singular day. Of course, you can cheap out some days. You can not draw some days. If you hurt, if you're sick, if you're just in a bad mood, you don't want to draw, don't draw that day. But it will really rapidly improve your art if you just keep drawing every day. It doesn't have to be a full picture at all. It just has to be something. It could be a sketch, a doodle, a throwaway napkin. It could be whatever. You could make a tiny little sculpture out of a peanut. Whatever you want. You just have to do something, because if you keep drawing something every day, you're going to improve. Even if you're not actively trying to improve, even if you're just doodling for the hell of it, you're not watching any tutorials, you're not looking at any references, you're not even finishing your art, you're not coloring your art. The only thing you have to do to improve any of your art is to draw every singular day. That's all you need to do. That's what I did. That's what I did for years. I've drawn pretty well every single day since I was 11. So that's like 8 years now. And so that'll really help improve your art. And maybe it'll be slower if you don't do anything else with it, if you don't look at references, if you don't actively try to improve with it. But it will still improve your art, even if you're just like casually drawing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little ramble. I hope it made some kind of sense. If it didn't, I hope you at least enjoyed hearing me talk just for a little 13, 14, 15 minutes. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope you achieve something today. Maybe this inspired you to draw. Maybe you're already drawing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you would subscribe, it would mean the absolute world to me. I literally have 2 subscribers right now, so please, if anyone wants to subscribe and turn the little bell notification on for when I decide to next post, which will hopefully be really, really soon, I would love that. And also you can go follow me on Instagram at cassi_is_me_name. I'll make sure to post a little link down in the description. And please comment, tell me what you think, give me critique on my art, give me critique on my voice on my video. Please do whatever you want. Thank you so much. Bye bye!